Hello, ActoSage here on the Sage channel, and this is Avorion. And we're going to have some fun in this interesting space building game. I almost said spaceship building game, but that's pretty cool. But you can also build stations, I believe. Anyway, I'm pretty new to this, so I don't know everything about it, but we're going to jump in and have a little fun, and our main objective in this is, well, the main objective of the game, build ships, collect materials, build bigger, better ships, command multiple ships, crew them with NPCs, and try to make it to the center of the galaxy. So that's what we're going to do, try to make it to the center of the galaxy. For our randomized key code thingy generated, I guess that's a random one, so we'll leave that as is. Default galaxy, well, I guess if it's default galaxy, this probably is random, so let's replace that first M with an N to see what that does. And then as for the name, well, Sage goes deep, because that sounds weird, doesn't it? Anyway, collision damage full, yep. Difficulty normal, I think that should be fine. Now let's go ahead and start. Alrighty, and spacebar to jump in the game. There we go. And it starts you out in a little mining vehicle. Now, I'm not going to go over all of the stuff in, sort of quick logical order of how you do it, because this game actually does have a pretty good tutorial. If you look at the top right, and yes, my UI is going to be pretty damn small, the game runs pretty well at 4K, so I'm playing at 4K. You can see at the very top right, though, there is a nice little question mark over there, and it gives you a pretty, well thought out tutorial. It leaves off a few things, but overall it works. Anyway, the first thing we start out with, though, is this little mining drone, and we're going to go ahead and go after this guy over here. Now, the controls are a bit odd. I'm going to go over some of the basics. The controls are a bit odd, where W, A, S, and D is pretty straightforward. W moves forward, S backwards, so on and so forth. But unlike Space Engineers and some other games, Q and E don't roll you. In fact, Q takes you downwards, and E takes you upwards, which is a bit crazy. And for rolling your ship, you use Z and X. Now, at first this can be a bit befuddling, but you get used to it pretty quickly. Now what we're doing here is we're mining off some of this asteroid here, and this asteroid is an iron asteroid. You can actually see in the bottom right of your screen, it'll say iron asteroid down there, and give you some basic stats of it. In fact, when you target ships, it'll even give you an idea of what the ship's made out of. So we're just going to mine some of this up. And at the top left of our screen, you'll see that we're gathering the resources there. And you don't have to worry about your inventory filling up or something like that. Your little tiny ship is able to, well, basically you have an endless amount of supplies. Even if everything you own is destroyed, you'll still have, well, this endless amount of supply storage room. Didn't mean to say endless amount of supplies. I meant to say endless amount of supply storage. At least for iron and such things like that. So there we go, we've successfully mined away this strangely cubic asteroid. And you can see we now have 748 iron to build with. Now I'm going to go ahead and mine up some more here, because we are going to need quite a bit to build a decent ship. And you can see we also have credits there at the top left. When we're building our ship, we're going to need to use up some of those as well. Oh, also, by the way, spacebar is your boost, so you can see I boost forward. The top middle of your screen, too, it's basic speed stuff. Doesn't give you a number, which is a little unfortunate, because I really do quite like having a specific number. But that's other stuff that the game will explain to you a bit more if you do the tutorial yourself. And I think I just found something pretty rare right there in front of us. Yes, indeed, I did just cut ahead. I'm going to spare you some of the tedium of mining every now and again, but we have discovered a titanium asteroid, I believe. So I'm using middle mouse button to select it, and you can see at the bottom right there, it's telling us it is titanium. And so we can go ahead and mine this up. Now, if this was something that comes after titanium, like nanite, and we were trying to mine that, we wouldn't actually be able to mine it with our current mining weapons, because I believe our mining weapons on this little drone are basically just iron mining things, which means they can mine iron and titanium, but if they want to mine nanites, you need titanium mining lasers. Not exactly sure how you get those for your drone. Maybe you don't. Maybe you just have to equip those on your larger ship. Anyway, we're gathering this stuff up because it's super useful for building, I found, reactors, and of course heavier armor. Well, I say heavier armor. It's actually, I believe, lighter, but it's stronger than just the iron. Alrighty. Well, that is about the end of that little asteroid, or meteorite, or, asteroid, that's what they're calling it. I'm going to keep gathering up some more iron, because we're going to save the titanium for generators. Because once we get into build mode, we're going to want some power, so our ship doesn't run out of power too quickly. I should point out that while using these ships, you can also go ahead and hold control, and you can see I'm actually able to aim these turrets in any way I please. Now, they do end up with some issues where if I aim too far upwards, you'll see one of the circles sort of, well, it's the only circle reaching it, and the other circle is that little blue one that's stuck down below. It can't reach up here without basically running into our own ship, so it's stuck, well, at that angle. Of course, releasing that, we can aim very easily about and continue blasting away at everything. This system is similar to, what is it? World of Warships, I believe was the game, where you could aim, and it takes a little bit of time for your turrets to get there. So you can see our turrets actually take a second to get there. It really gives everything a sense of scale, and, well, honestly, I love it. And we seem to have gotten pretty lucky in actually finding another titanium one. I was playing this game earlier today with the good old-fashioned Scott, that's Scott's Dragon, and, Pretmaster, as well as, I'm forgetting his name, Conrad Larson. Having a good old time, because this game does indeed have multiplayer, and you can join each other pretty simply through just the Steam interface, even though I believe you have to click multiplayer at the beginning instead of single player. But just use your Steam interface if your buddy's already got a server up and running, just do join friend, and, well, you can plop in there. It works pretty well, too. Not much lag, not much desync. It's a lot of fun, even with giant battles going on. I would argue that the only downside to playing in multiplayer right now is that you have to share resources, because of course, while I'm mining this, my buddies wouldn't be able to mine that, which might be one of the reasons I've never really seen this much titanium, well, because my buddies were getting it before I could. We were trying to stick together, but unfortunately you can't see each other on the map always. It's more of, what's your coordinates? Okay, I'll try to get to there. And since I'm mentioning coordinates, I figure I might as well say that the coordinate system is on your map, where you of course press M, and you can see the whole sort of area where you are. The blue outline here is where you jump to. This is a jump point where you can go through a gate, it'll take us to there. The little green dots you see coming and going are things your sensors are picking up. You can zoom out, and you can see there's our objective. We're planning to get to the center of the galaxy. But of course, right now, we're pretty dang far away. The galaxy is mostly on a two-dimensional plane. There's no, like, traveling up and down here. Even though you can travel up and down, of course, in this little world at each jump point. There we go, more titanium. I think it's even more up there, which is kind of unheard of to be finding this much so easily. Phew, that was a close call. That was close call. Your ship, you'll see the big thruster at the back. It can be a bit finicky. You have to depend on that really if you want to decelerate or change speeds in any quick manner. At the bottom right side of our screen, you'll also notice that little numbers down there, a 75 or 78 now actually, and that's how many resources you've gathered in the last little bit of time. After a while, I think that fades out, so once we start mining this, it should reset to, well, however many resources we're getting from this. As you can see, the numbers disappeared. We break that, and now it starts counting up again. That first chunk had 52 in it, which actually is a pretty hefty amount, I feel. Oh yeah. We're gaining up a fair amount now. Yes, indeed. Looking good. So you can see in total at the bottom right, we gained, last little piece breaking now, there we go, about 1,150 bits of iron from this whole thing. There's a few that have floated away here that weren't directly pulled to us, though. Yeah, there we go, got it all now. And I think it's about time that we started building our ship. We have 5,000 iron and 2,500 titanium, more than enough to get a notable ship started. Now the only problem is here, as I mentioned, credits can be an issue because you have to use credits to actually build this stuff. So let's go ahead, and we're going to look at the top right side of our screen and click this little flag. It says found ship here. Ta-da! The first ship. The best ship. That ends with a P and not a T. And you can see here, ta-da, our first little ship is started in. We can't actually move this. You can see it might be, yeah, it's turning very, very slowly as we aim, but we can't actually move it. So we're going to press B on our keyboard, go into build mode. You'll notice at the top it's giving us some issues here. Your ship has no crew, no mechanics, so it's slowly taking damage. Your yaw on rotation is horrible. Your braking thruster is very low. And your ship is actually very weak in comparison to other ships in the zone. And at the far right of the screen, you can see there's a million little bits of red text telling you, hey, you got some issues here. You might want to think about doing things to fix that. At the very bottom of your screen, you'll see little build things here, all the different blocks you have. You can click on that plus thing, and check this out. This is something I really wish Space Engineers had, and pretty much any other game, the ability to move the windows about. So we can move this over here, and we're going to change its sorting function to, I think it is, was it this one? There we go, so we get an even larger window. And you can see a lot of these are the same blocks, but they're different materials. And there's some of them that you can't build, like out of iron. You can't build the titanium generator, which is a generator that just produces energy out of the blue, but you have to have titanium to build it. Anyway, let's get to work on our ship. The first thing we're going to do is look, how much thrust would this give us? Just this standard little guy right here is going to give us 36.9 meters per second worth of thrust as compared to the iron one, which gives us 34. So it's pretty much the same. For our actual thruster cowling here, though, I think we're going to go ahead and scale this down. Scaling in this game is crazy weird. It's actually based on W, A, S, and D, so if I press the D button, you see it highlights that face, and we just drag with the mouse and it drops it down. And you can see that does change. If I make this engine really long, it gives us a lot more power. So we're going to go ahead and use $500 and 225 iron. Ta-da! We now have our first little thruster. We're actually going to do this a few times here, so this ship is going to have some hefty, silly, stupid thrust. We might end up regretting this, actually. And rather unfortunately, you cannot rotate these around. I'd really love to be able to rotate these around and use them as braking thrusters, but if I place it here, it's still facing the same direction. And even though I can press R and it gives you a rotation screen, so we can click it, when it rotates it, well, as you can see from the little bit of light showing there, it's still facing the same direction, so it's a no-go there. Anyway, we're going to move on to the next area here. We're going to put more of our ship. We currently have not the most thrust in the world. We're going to need power, right? So let's go ahead and use up some of that titanium we had here. And we're actually going to go ahead and scale this down. Actually, we might not want to do this because it's using a huge amount of money. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do it in smaller pieces like this. And it's 1,200. It's going to eat up quite a bit of cash, but we're going to do it. I love my symmetry. 2 more of these. So it's eaten up a huge amount of our money, but we should have a huge surplus of power for most things now. And we're going to move on to one more thing here, and that would be our maneuvering thrusters. And that's actually down here on our hotbar, so we can go ahead and get that. I think it's number 7 there. Yep. And we're going to put these in. Make these a little bit bigger since they're a bit cheaper. Gotta find the right hotkey. Q, there we go. Ta-da! And we'll put you here, and we're pretty low on cash, but I think I have enough for you there and you there. We'll leave that open. And now, if we go ahead and press B and exit build mode, you can see our ship actually does function. It's an odd cuboid, and we can of course use control to look around, but it does work. Anyway, let's go ahead. We're going to head over to the station over here. And you can see we're still got all those red things at the top of the screen telling us our ship is weak, and it is also missing a bunch of crew and having serious power issues. Or, not necessarily serious. I mean, they disappeared pretty quickly once we stopped moving. It was just telling us all of our power was going to one specific thing. So let's get over here to this equipment dock. And we have to actually go by one of these docking ports. So we're going to try to line it up so we don't hit it. Maneuver ourselves. One of the things I love about this, or Space Engineers uses the gyroscopes to spin your ship. This one is slightly more, in a way, realistic. You can see it's using the little thrusters to spin our ships like that, which I absolutely love. I'm not sure placement matters too much on that, though. I think they do actually function like gyroscopes, even though they do draw themselves logically. Anyway, let's do buy and sell turrets. We're going to go to here, and we're actually going to go ahead and triple chain gun turret. We're going to sell that. Boop, we got 2 of them. That got us 10,000 more credits, lickety split. And you can see it down at the bottom right too. It's showing that our relationship with a clan EOS improved by a certain amount there. And now we can go ahead, we could buy some of these upgrades if we had the money, but we don't. What we're going to go ahead and do now is just continue working on our ship. We're not going to buy the crew yet. We're going to build the ship up a bit more, so press B, and so it goes back into build mode. You can see these big arrows, telling you which way is forward, because it has a set front no matter what you do. One of the reasons why you can't rotate those thrusters, I guess. And we can go ahead and what else do we want to do? We want to put in some cargo. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and say, let's shrink this down. Let's hold Q so it rotates it in every direction. Let's drop that down a little bit. Coolio. Let's swap over to the, where is it? not cargo, crew quarter block. A little hard to tell sometimes on these. And we're just going to put a few of these in here, just using up some more of our iron. These are pretty interesting. And this allows us to have a larger number of crew on board. I think it actually says over here, yeah, crew, 0 out of 18. So we can now have a crew of 18 people. We can actually go ahead and we got a fair amount of iron left. Let's expand it a little. Oh no, we missed. Damn. Oh, how do you delete it? Middle mouse, click on it, it highlights it, and just press the delete key. And it gives you, well, looks like it gave us all of our resources back, actually, on that. It's pretty nifty. It told us in the bottom right corner, don't hit us. That was close. Maybe I shouldn't have parked my ship right here, huh? Let's press B. And let's actually, you know, just slowly move, not right there. Not the best spot in the world. And you see that's another NPC ship. And in fact, we can middle mouse, we can aim at it and middle mouse select it. You can see it's a lifter. It's a civilian cargo ship of some sort. And you can see who it's associated with, the clan of Eos and all that. Anyway, let's go ahead and keep building our nice little ship here. We're going to use a little bit more of these thruster fun times. There we go, find the right button. I think I like them 2 bumps wide. Ta-da. And to speed this up, we could also go ahead and use this little thing over here on our left, where you actually have mirroring. You can turn on mirroring planes, so you can speed yourselves up like that. You can only have 1 on at a time, but there are mirroring planes there. There's also just, you can set the scale, the grid scale. So if you want to go instead of 0.5 to, let's say, just 1, ta-da. I think now if we scale this up, it should go up in increments of 1 instead of 0.5. But we're going to set it back to 0.5. Unfortunately, I don't think you can type this in. You have to just drag it, which is a little bit unfortunate. And you can see, like, the local grid. This is how it's snapping. And scale steps and just grid size and all this stuff. So that was a stepping there. I got those backwards a little bit. Anyway, we're going to leave it mostly as is and just leave. Should I just do global grid? It should be about the same, right? Yeah. And then we can do Q and scale it up just a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So pretty much the same. Cool. What we're going to do right here, since we don't really have the credits for more energy, I don't think. Should we check that real quick? Should we just check it? Because power becomes a serious issue in these ships a lot of times. So that's 1,000 and something, and it's only 100? Yeah, sure. We'll add a little bit more power. Now, of course, all these blocks can be destroyed separately should your enemy go ahead and get a good lock on you. So that's one of the reasons why I'm sort of just like, oh, shouldn't we? About some of these. And then one of the reasons I am doing these in smaller chunks instead of like one big power section. Trying to get that face right there. So we can see, can we drop it down a little bit to fit it in there? Not really. We'll just fit it right there. So it's inset a little bit. Not exactly ideal. In fact, can I just do 0.25 then? No, it's not letting me drop it anymore, unfortunately. Dang. Anyway, what I was wanting to level that out pretty badly with the other one, but it appears it doesn't want that to happen. Why? I have no idea. In fact, we're going to delete this, and we're just going to aim at... Surely I can... you know what? I know what's going on here. We changed the grid, so now it's back to local, and sure enough, it snaps to it perfectly fine. Ta-da! That's a little unfortunate. I should have started the whole thing on global gridding. Anyway, now we got all of our maneuvering stuff. We got our big thrusters at the back, and now we have this big front plate here. What we're going to do on this is put in some cargo, because cargo becomes very, very important. Because the more cargo you have, the more stuff you can store. Pretty straightforward, honestly, isn't it? We're going to go up to... Yeah, we have enough iron to handle that, don't we? And in fact, let's even bank it up a little bit bigger. There we go. Ta-da. So now we have a huge bulk of cargo at the front of our ship. And you see we've run out of credits again. And I don't want to sell anything more, because what I want to do now is scroll on down to... Actually, no, they're right here, these guys. This mining turret. I'm going to place one of those just right here on this face. And then I would place this... Oh, it actually let me place it. Okay, cool. So now we have both of our mining turrets at the front of the ship. And so now our funny little ship can go ahead and mine with those 2 silly little turrets stuck at the front. And we can actually press P, as where this stuff's going to start becoming more important. So we can select these 2 guys right here. I can press 1 on that guy and 1 on that guy. So now our number 1 key will toggle those on and off. I still can't fire them though, because you need a crew to be able to manage that. So I'm going to select this structure with middle mouse. fly up to the docking collar and let's connect. I'll skip through that, and let's hire some crew members. We're going to need quite a few, but we don't have the credits to really buy many of them. So let's just hire, that's 4 of them. So hire those guys, go back to pressing P, click on the crew thing there at the top, and let's go ahead and see. Since we have so many thrusters, that's asking for a lot of people on that. We're not going to do that. We're going to assign the 4 we have to our little things there, which means we still have some serious issues here. We need a lieutenant to keep everyone in order, so we're going to have some issues here until we can get some more money. But you can see, not enough mechanics, your ship will slowly take damage, and your ship can't fly at optimal speed. Now, to get everything running, what we can do is we'll press M. Let's aim at this. And does this place have, yes indeed, a resource depot? Since it's got a resource depot, we can go ahead and just sell resources to that. Now the problem is we need more resources to sell. Raw resources is what I'm getting at here. So we need to go ahead and find ourselves. Let's hold spacebar to boost. You can see at the very bottom of the screen that sort of boost bar is dropping once that's gone. The ship's going to need to recharge that. So you can see at the top now, since that bar is empty, it's now has the, hey, we're recharging, we're using up more of your power. There's more to that than what I'm saying, but the tutorial, if you go ahead and play this, will explain more of it. There's some ore. You can see it right there. Stuff that kind of has, it's not showing it on our bottom right, but you can see it does have shinies on it. That means it is mineable. Now what you can do with some ships is leave the ship there and it'll keep on mining without you in it, and you can actually take the mining drone back out. But what we're going to do is go ahead and do this probably manually, because I find sometimes the ship just won't do that. There's also turrets that are just automatically run. You don't need a crew on them, I don't believe, but they'll just use AI. What the helium heights is that weapon type? I've not seen before. P, we'll go to systems, that's not plugged in here, ship. Iron mining turret, but I've not seen that beam type before. I've not seen that before. I wish I could just... Wow, that's quite something else. Anyway, I pressed F2, there's different flight modes. I don't know it all. Like I said, I haven't played too much of this, but enough to get a basic gist of it. Anyway, let's go ahead, we're using control so we can aim to this. Jesus Christ, these are the most powerful mining things I've seen before. Every time I've played before, the ones on your small ship were, well, on your big ship, the first ones they start you out with, were nowhere near as strong as the ones on your tiny little mining craft, which means you just have to keep piling them on. The game did update right before I started recording today, so there's a possibility they updated the crap out of those right before that. Anyway, let's go ahead and blast away at this stuff. And you can see at the bottom there, I'm not even sure this was a thing earlier, but you can see there's this sort of like bars building up there. And I suspect those might be, yeah, heat levels. And they sort of reset every time you break a block, it would appear. No, they don't reset, it's only... Yeah, I guess they reset, it's just... They slowly drop is what I'm trying to say, but it doesn't show them slowly dropping, it just doesn't show the bar at all when you're not firing at something. Interesting. And what happens if they overheat? Ah, I see. So it would appear that if they overheat, they start draining into your backup power supply. The same one you use for boost and things like that. Yep, that would definitely be it. It's not draining into it now. It is unfortunate, though, that, yeah, they can't see the power bars while you're actually not firing them, so you can't tell if they're recharging or not. That is a bit unfortunate. Boy, I'm loving this ship. Oh, by the way, you can also hold Alt and move your camera like this, and then press Alt again and move your camera up and down and stuff. So if you want to move your camera about, you can do so pretty easily. And you can see here the 2 little dots, the target reticles sort of dance around, because remember they have that sort of ship thing. So if we aim back here, they'll never be able to reach what we're aiming at because we put them on the front of the ship. So placement does matter, and it's actually, well, really quite cool. I kind of course, wish that we had the automated turrets for this, because it would be nice to have the turrets just mining away without me having to aim at it, so we could just fly by it, sit a little while, and then fly away. And of course, as I believe I mentioned earlier, we got pieces of rubble floating away from us here and there, and everywhere, like these little guys right there and there. All you gotta do is fly near them, and your ship starts picking them up. It's pretty simple. And of course, lots of drift on a lot of these ships that you end up building in this game. So watch yourself, it's really easy to drift into things. Anyway, now that we got the resources we talked about, And I'm not really seeing any other titanium, because of course I would definitely go for titanium if I saw it, since it's always been pretty rare. Maybe the latest update did change things. Let's go ahead and try to find ourselves that material depot. Now, a lot of the things in this have their own little icons like that. I think that's the material depot icon, resource depot. I think that, was it resource depot we needed? I mouse over it, shows you everything that's there. Yeah, resource depot, I think that'll do it. So let's boost ourselves over to that. And we'll go ahead and sell maybe half the iron we have so we can get some more money and buy ourselves more crew. And crew can be purchased from pretty much any place we please. And we've run out of power to boost, so we're just going to drift now. Unfortunately, when I say drift, I don't necessarily mean like Star Citizen or Space Engineers, where you get up to speed and let go, and it can just drift at the same speed. Your ship automatically, rather unfortunately, drops down to sort of a set maximum speed. Sort of like Star Citizen is now, which is pretty disappointing, honestly. Anyway, we're here at the station now. We'll go ahead and fly up to one of the docking ports, because if you're actually going to be selling or receiving items from them, you have to actually be near one of the docking ports. Wait until the little thing turns from dock to press F. There we go. Ta-da, we docked. Hello, I would like to trade materials, and I would like to go to the sell tab and not the buy tab, and I would like to give you, let's say, 2,500 of our tokens there. There we go. And Control A and stuff like that, Control A, Control C, doesn't seem to work in this. You can't highlight stuff, which is a little bit disappointing. And you see they don't even have a lot of this other stuff in stock if you wanted to buy it. And you see the cost and then how much they have, and no go here. And a lot of stuff has buyback, but I don't think you get on these. Anyway, now that we got some credits, we'll just talk to them again. We'll say hire crew. You can hire guys for specific roles. So can I press P and get this thing open at the same time? That would have been nice if it would let me. It's not letting me. I would love to have this and the other thing open at once. But you can see mechanics, we're needing 4 mechanics. You can see the hourly pay. And then we're also needing 7 engineers and then 1 lieutenant. And you can assign these just standard crewmen to anything. But apparently it's more efficient if you buy specific role ones. So let's go ahead. Don't need a pilot yet. There's a lieutenant. How much would it cost for just 1 lieutenant? 2,000 credits. Yeah, why not? We'll go expensive lieutenant and cheap everything else, and let's buy, let's say you... let's get some engineers. Screw it. Let's get 4 engineers and 8 other crewmen. So hire, coolio. Go back to our screen here. Let's assign ourselves... Oh, it's actually, looks like it's auto-assigned the mechanics, I guess, since they can't be assigned to any other role. Let's go ahead and 1, 2, 3. Oh, what? Huh? Oh, I need more sergeants? Oh, well, I'll just go ahead and assign a guy to that. There we go. And assign away we go. These. There we go. Now, our ship doesn't have any more things at the top, except for warning your ship's a bit weak in comparison to the rest of the universe. Coolio. Well, I think we're about at the point now where we can go ahead and jump to another sector. We could, of course, keep on mining here, but I don't think we're going to do that. I mean, unless you guys see any titanium and can magically send your eyesight back to me. I don't want to crash. Crashing's bad. Can magically send your eyesight back to me when I was recording this and not when you're viewing it. Well, I don't think we're going to go ahead and see any of that. Anyway, let's blast away at this real quick. Come on, turrets, line us up. Jesus, they do so much damage so quickly on that. It's impressive. I love it. There we go. Just vaporize that. Love that. I love that. And let's go ahead and take our little bit, find the jump gate, which is the thing that takes us along this blue line, and jump to the next sector. So let's go ahead. We'll just set a beacon. No, we don't even need to set a beacon. We'll find it. Jump gate, jump gate, jump gate. There it is, right there. Ta-da! Middle mouse is selected. You can see we got hints at the bottom right that sort of tells you vaguely which way it'll be going. It's a little weird that it uses the north, south, and east and west thing, but that's just because you get a flat, projection here. And which way is this taking us? It's taking us northwest. There's a quest thing there. There's quests you can get from different things. We're going to probably miss a lot of those because a lot of them are like, go find me 20 warheads. It's like, okay, well, I haven't seen any military sales place in a while, so we're not doing that. Anyway, let's go on and head through the gate, and you can see at the bottom right here, it'll actually tell you it costs 61 credits just to go through the gate. And we have that money, so the second you go through it, it'll just charge you, so let's go.